Hello, 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 everyone. So good to see everybody this morning with my girl Allie. Hey, Allie, how you doing, babe?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Let me say good morning to everybody, or almost afternoon. Good, good day. I'm just going to say good day. Good day, Inspector Gadget, K-Braze, BG, Anaphylaxis, Deb and PAAJ, Pointer Lover, Cement Shoes, Mrs. O, Ava, Amelia Sparkles, Natasha, Thelma's Louise, Mrs. O. So good to see you. Oh, Corey, I keep forgetting. I know the name of the song is Gatekeeper. I just have to remember. I got to go to Epidemic Sound and look it up. I'll do it. I promise. Don't. I'll remember. I will put it in this live after it's done. Hey, Melissa Jade, struggle is real. Good to see y'all.
Good day, guys. No.
Good day, everyone. Salty Sea, Aries girl. I don't know if I said pointer lover, but if I didn't, hello. Helmet. Hey, Melmac. Good to see everyone. All right. So let me tell y'all what is on the agenda for today. So Kohberger is set for arraignment. I think it's going to be fairly quick. I'm sure that Ann Taylor is going to waive the indictment being read in court. He'll probably plead not guilty, and then there'll be some scheduling, and then that will be that. Okay. But hey, Mal, the second part of the hearing, or the second, not part, the second hearing for today is regarding this non dissemination order. Okay. They want clarification, all the things, right? So, what I thought we would do is Allie and I would be live now, right, to do the whole arraignment, and we'll talk about that. And I have it on WFLA just because I like JB. And and I've got it on my TV so I could keep an eye on whenever he hits the feed after it's over. And then tonight, should a decision be reached respective to the non dissemination order, she and I will talk about that live tonight. If there is not a decision reached regarding the non dissemination order, Allie and I will still be live tonight. We're going to be talking about Melanie BP, or as y'all know her, Melanie Boudreaux Pulowski, in all her various statements. So,
Yes. Jen, I was going to ask you too, because I know we're going to go live on your channel tonight at around probably 9. And I was thinking maybe this afternoon around 4, 3, 4 or something, I might do like a live talk because that Madeline Pantoja was found. And there's a couple other little like true crime news things I want to do. And I also, if you want to join, I'd love to have you up to, if you know, to give your opinions or whatever. So I was going to
okay.
ask you about that. But yeah. So,
Okay.
and then
So I can
tonight,
do
Melanie
that.
BP.
Yeah, I can do that. But I got to be off of the live at about 5
Okay.
because my sister and I have scheduled a phone call because we've got to get all of the things. Um,
Graduation.
Graduation. Yeah, I am trying to um plan a little after, like a get together for everybody that comes in from out of town to see her graduate. So I got to get with my sister, and then my sister-in-law has been sending me pictures of like decorations, and I got to figure out how to. I'm fairly certain I have it within my wheelhouse to make a balloon arch. I think I can do it.
I do too. Oh my
Yeah.
God, my friend does that for a living, actually. A for advocate. Well, as a side job, she makes them for all of a bunch of people. I can ask her if there's any little tips or anything that
Okay.
before you go into it. Yeah, I'll ask her
Okay.
today.
Because I feel like there's probably at least 11 billion YouTube video tutorials on doing it. That's how I learned how to do
Yep.
everything. Like one time my treadmill wouldn't work. because it had too many miles on it and it had to be reset, and it was giving me this random, error code, and I went on YouTube and I fixed it. Then another time, I had one of those ice makers that sits on your counter, but I've moved on up. Now my refrigerator has an ice maker, but that thing, it broke for a minute, and I went on YouTube and figured out how to temporarily fix it. But yeah, so I feel like I can master a balloon arch. I really do. If there's a tutorial, I can do it. So I'm excited. But we're, trying to figure out we're gonna do like a fajita buffet. I can't wait.
Ooh,
So yeah.
yum. That sounds
Mhm.
delish.
And then she
Oh,
wants
you
me
could
to
do
make the
like,
tres leches cake.
oh, oh my God, that was so cool. Because you know what? You could do like virgin margaritas or something cool like that as well. Like some kind of,
Ooh,
hey, you could
that's a
do
good
some virgin ones
idea.
and then
Well,
some for
correct.
the adults.
Correct. Frankly, I mean, look, this is my last baby bird, y'all. I'm just gonna be honest and upfront. I know I usually come across as calm, cool, collected. I mean, yeah, I'm a little frazzled, but that's not like emotional. That's just brain problems. That's just the ADHD kicking in. But I do have feelings, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little freaked out that my last baby bird is graduating. She's the last
Yeah.
one, and I remember her being little. I mean, I remember her, like, sitting in front of the computer watching The
Oh,
Annoying Orange and
oh my
imitating
God.
and imitating it and yelling out, "Hey, gay way!" I mean, just this little. Allie knows. Allie's seen pictures.
Oh,
She's, like, about a minute and a half big. She's
teeny
so
tiny.
tiny.
Yeah.
And when she was teeny tiny even when she was little, but she would imitate that annoying orange voice, and it was so funny, the stuff that she would say, and I just,
Trenton loved
can't
that annoying orange too, but he was annoying, Jen, was he not? It's like, dude, perfect name for him because he is annoying.
It was very annoying, very annoying, but she loved it. She loved the annoying orange. She loved These were the 3 things she watched on repeat: Annoying Orange, Milo and Otis, and, A Nightmare Before Christmas. Those were her those were her favorites. And then, A Nightmare Before or no, Milo and Otis got replaced with Coraline. She watched that Coraline DVD so many times that it had to be replaced. So, I mean, she was
Wow.
just
See,
that was her thing.
Coraline freaks me out. I'm surprised she loved it like that because it was a little bit of a creepy movie, you know?
Coraline freaked all of her friends out too, and she would be like, "It's not real." I mean, she's this little itty bitty thing talking like a grown woman. It's not real. That can't happen. Calm down.
Mini Bendy.
Pretty much. Pretty much. So, yeah, I'm really excited and a little bit nervous. So, frankly, I'm going to need, and I think deserve, a real margarita. I do love
Yes,
them. I do love some tequila.
you deserve it. I
So,
agree. And it'll be a cool little touch too for the party. I think it'd be really cute.
yes. Yes, I'll just have to be, very, very good at supervising. So, I mean, I don't, she c I'm not gonna serve alcohol to minors. It just is what it is, I'm not gonna be that.
Yeah,
Know too
probably
many
smart.
things. I need
Smart idea.
I know too many things about, the law, and I don't need that smoke. So, let another parent do it. It won't be me.
Yeah, the cool mom is actually not cool at all. She's actually pretty. I never want to be the cool mom because the
No.
cool mom is actually how I got started using. To be honest, that's the first person who
Exactly.
gave me a hydro. So,
Exactly. So, yeah, no, like, Jen Lou don't need that smoke. So, JB he was supposed to have Nate Eaton on, but I don't know I forgot what he said happened, but they have Jennifer Coffindeffer on, and she's like explaining things. And I just want to touch on a little bit. I watched the Dateline um, you know, special on the Idaho 4. And I have to say, you guys, I wasn't all that impressed. I'm sorry. I love Keith Morrison or Morris. I can never remember which it is. I've been watching him since I was young. My mom loved Dateline. But I felt like some of the stuff that they were talking about and trying to somewhat piece together or put together, um, okay, was like a bit of a stretch where I hope you limbered up before you did that stretch. You stretched before the stretch. Hey, Sam. Hey, Amber's ATS News and everybody coming in that I probably missed because I wasn't paying attention. S. Daniel, coolest reviews. I forgot who else. I saw other people come in and then I just got, I can't be looking. Christine, I can't be looking. Mama Bear, I can't be looking at, the, I can't be looking at the chat. I'll be getting distracted. But anyway, I felt like I don't wanna spoil it for anybody who hasn't had an opportunity to watch it yet, but I just felt like some of the things that they were trying to draw conclusions or similarities or, like, parallels, I just felt like were a bit of a stretch. Not that it isn't something he would be capable of doing. That's not what I'm talking about, but more like that he potentially actually did it in 2 specific situations and cases. That's kind of where I was with that. And I don't know because I remember, like I remember pre-YouTube, my, feelings and stuff on, watching, like, Dateline, 48 Hours, 2020, all those things back in the day, especially with my mom. My mom loved those shows. Um, my my takeaway from shows like that was very different than it is now, and I realize that, um, there's always a spin and an angle, and it's not always like 100% factual. And I mean, I know that like I watched the specials they did on the West Memphis 3. And y'all they got stuff wrong. Like not small details, big details, you know? And after that I was just like now I side eye everything. I don't know, it's weird like you can't unknow things, I suppose. You can't become unjaded. I'll never go back to the way I was. I don't know.
That's really interesting because I was wondering the same thing. I didn't watch it because you told me basically nothing new besides these rumors. And
Mhm.
then I was talking to Amber, and she was like, "Well, Dateline is reputable, so maybe it's believable. But then to hear that they've gotten things wrong before, that's pretty interesting."
Yeah. Oh, yes, cement shoes. How is everything going? Good, I hope. If you now you know if it's not, you don't have to say because obviously we respect privacy here at the war. But if you do need anything, you know my email. Don't hesitate to reach out. I will do what I can if I can. Know what I mean? I got your back. I think for me with the okay, so Dateline is reputable, but here's where the problem came for me. Okay. They kept citing these sources close to the investigation, okay? And this is where I have a problem because there is a non-dissemination order. And any source close to the investigation would be under that non-dissemination order because the court would have subject matter jurisdiction over them because they are an Idaho resident. So I just I can't understand who's talking to the media, who is giving them information that they aren't supposed to be giving. That's where my problem is. Like, I just don't. I don't know, I'm weirded out by the whole thing, and you guys know how I roll. Like, I will speculate, but I have but for me, I gotta speculate based on confirmed evidence, you know? Like, it's a little different if I were like, with when I talk about, like, Leticia Stout and what might have been going on in her head. Even then, I mean, that's difficult too, and I always kind of feel weird about doing that because I don't have any, special super secret powers that I can divine what's going on in somebody's head, but I think that there is something to be said for you can somewhat kind of gauge what a person might be thinking based on their actions. So that's what I try to go off of and stuff that and I love Keith Morrison too. Christine, that's why I was like, "Man, I don't know. I don't know."
Well, think about what we watched last night on Melissa's and the rumors versus what was actually true.
That's true.
It's like, yeah, shocking how off they were, and reputable channels that were doing research were buying into it. So, you never know until we go to court.
Right. And I think that when sources, let's say no, there is no non-dissemination. There's no gag order. Let's just say just these just in it that it were just regular just sources that it doesn't even matter about like take the gag order off the table, right? I think as long as you can verify that the source is who they say they are and that they do have some type of connection with the case or the person in the case. I think that in the beginning of those interviews are always interesting because they're told from the perspective of that person, right? And you can have I mean, look at how we can all watch the same trial, right? But we will have different takeaways from it. All of us do because we're all individuals. And I think it's no, no, babe. Oh no, I know, no, Christine. I know you didn't mean anything by it. I was just bummed because I do like Keith, and I'm like I know him. Hey, Keith, what's up? Call me. Um, yeah, like, it was just kind of a bummer, I felt like a little bit. But anyway, I feel like those interviews are interesting, and then to go and visit them in the as long as people understand what they are. It's an interview, it is from that person's perspective, it is the way they feel about a particular situation and a person, and as long as you take it like that, that's one thing. But, it becomes a problem when well, for me anyway, when all of the sudden those interviews are given, they're played, and then people take that perception perspective and repeat it as if it is fact. And it's just their opinion. I mean, unless they're saying, Gannon is no longer alive, and we know that that's true. That's different. But you take my point. You guys take my meaning. I don't need to
Yes.
like belabor this point. But yeah,
I've always been fascinated by perception, Jen, because just like you said, two people can watch one thing and walk away with something, so different. It's crazy.
yeah. Like look at last night. So last night we were listening and we were listening to this one specific part. And this is where the person being interviewed says they were told that if they told anybody about the abuse, that they would not see each other again. Right. And I said, wait a minute, who is they and who told them? Right. And Allie, Melissa, and Crime Curious thought we all thought different things, right? Like at first, Melissa Jade thought it was that Lena and Gannon were told that they would be separated and never see each other again, right? And I was like, yeah, but I feel like she's talking about Gannon and her son, and but she's saying that somebody told them, which means that her son told her about this situation, right? And we couldn't quite put it together. Hey, Mo. And then towards the end of the interview, the person being interviewed clarified it. And it was that someone who she wasn't comfortable in that moment releasing that bit of information told Gannon and her son that if they spoke about the abuse, they wouldn't see each other again. But you see, though, that's
Well,
how perception works.
okay, so I'm driving, so I can't watch chat, but I want to add this. I don't
Okay.
believe that. I'm really interested because she claimed that she reported it, but don't you think that even if prosecution didn't want to bring that up, possibly that the defense would have came out of the trial, right? Because the defense would have thrown any shade out they could have. I don't know. What do you think about that? Would that have came out?
Um, I feel like I feel like that we shouldn't well, the defense is absolutely not gonna bring it up, because they don't wanna take the chance that a juror might believe it. Um, but I do th but I think for the prosecution, I think that the prosecution needed to really, really focus because of her plea. I think had she pled straight not guilty, which she did, but then changed it, if she just stuck with a straight not guilty plea, they probably would have, uh, brought that in. But because she pled not guilty by reason of insanity, what they needed to do was really, um talk about introduce all of the evidence of her behavior surrounding those very, very crucial dates, the 26th, the 27th, the 28th, the 29th, all of the calls in in between, and then the behavior in Florida, and just all of that up until her arrest. They needed to, because of that plea. And I think that part of the reason that they did not include that, particular bit of information in it, potentially, I don't know. This is just my thought process, is that I think what would have ended up happening is had they opened that door, then Lena might have been called to testify. And I think that that is
Uh,
something that they were avoiding because she would have been the direct victim in that case. And she would have been the one that would have to discuss. Now, there's other ways that they could have brought it in, but I think that in that situation, and I'm not an attorney, like they could have introduced Lena's forensic interview with investigators, by having the person who gave the interview testify that that is them in the video, and that, they identify that video and identify the people in it, and they could have done that and not had Lena testify. However, I think with that kind of a situation, I think that they couldn't have I think the judge wouldn't have allowed that evidence to be introduced without Lena being on the stand. And I really think that um they wanted to avoid having Lena testify.
that
That's
makes
what I
sense.
think.
That would be like the one I never even thought about that, but that would be like the one reason I could see them leaving it out. Same with Idaho, actually, with this grand jury, and we've talked about this. I fully
Mhm.
believe they decided to do that to protect the witnesses because they're all.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit, babe. They're all what? I think what Allie is saying, because she and I have talked about this, and when oh, she's back. Okay, what'd you say, babe? Say that again, please.
I said that I think they're already being like destroyed online so much. And once I get up here, I'll be parked and my service will be better. But yeah, I think that because they're already getting a lot of heat and they want to protect them a little bit and kind of shield them from some of that.
Yes, I agree. I think that, um I don't think that the state going for a grand jury indictment versus a preliminary hearing means anything with respect to the strength or weakness of the case against Bryan Kohberger. Frankly, I think what it is there is such a huge um, interest, public interest in this case that I do think the right thing to do, the prudent thing to do to protect the integrity of the case and to protect the trial moving forward, to ensure that Bryan Kohberger gets a fair trial. That is a right he has, and it must be respected. I think that that is why one of the reasons, and because there is so much interest, and people would have um, you know, even if it, let's say the preliminary hearing wasn't live streamed, right? Um, those records would then be, I mean, they could be sealed. There's some things they could have done, but at the end of the day, I think that they did it to protect the witnesses and to protect the integrity of the case, quite frankly, and the trial moving forward. That's what I think they did. I don't think there was anything, mystical, magical, nefarious, shady, any of those adjectives at all. I think it was just what they felt was the best thing to do for the case. And frankly, I agree with them. Yes, I want to know. Would I have liked a preliminary hearing? Sure, of course. I want to know what the deal is. But also, I I don't want there to be um I don't want there to be not, how do I say this? I'm trying to think. English is, or words clearly, sentences and structure are difficult for you girl today, apparently. I don't want to do anything to disrupt due process.
Okay, so I'm about to park here at this thing. Well, I'm taking the kids for a thing, and I'm gonna sit in the car and talk to you for a minute. And I'm gonna
Okay.
look at the live tweets from the courtroom. But while I'm doing that, I got to tell you something. So, Wolfie this morning told me that she thinks he might would plead guilty, and that surprised me. What do you think about that?
I mean, look, the truth of the matter is there's always, like, you never know what the accused is going to do until they do it. Um but I think that it's always a possibility, but I don't know how strong of a possibility it is. Maybe 10% he would plead guilty, 90%, or I'll get 89% he would plead not guilty. Okay, 10% he pleads guilty, 89% he pleads not guilty, and 1% margin of error. I don't know. I don't think it's a very strong possibility, only because he used the word exonerate, which means something very, very specific. And it is a reference to legal proceedings. Um, I feel like he's gonna fight it.
I think so too. And my main reason of thinking that is because when he was arrested, remember how fast his defense was out there, like at the house. They were they're on the ball, and I think they're going to put on quite a fight. With Lori and Letitia, both of their defense, it was like wah wah wah. I don't think this is going to be like that. I think this is going to be a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, I do too. I think they're going to call in. Now, this is what I'm curious about. So so the next phase. All right. So let's just assume, just for the sake of this discussion, right, that Brian pleads not guilty. All right. So then there's going to be all kinds of things moving forward, all kinds of motions. There will be hearings respective to the evidence. Now, what I am curious, the only way that I could see Brian changing his mind about his plea would hinge on what evidence is allowed in versus what evidence is allowed out. or is not allowed in. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that might change his mind.
Well,
But
his attorney in her paperwork recently over the non-dissemination. So they I guess the news organizations are asking for it to be dropped, and she did put in a motion that said, Melissa Jade actually pointed this out to me. And in her motion, she says that they plan on bringing an expert, I guess today, to show how the media has damaged the case already and how the media has damaged the public perception of Bryan. So there's going to be experts. They're going to bring it.
it's gonna be a minute, and so I just for that point and that just, I just don't think that this is gonna be a situation where Brian's like, "Yeah, he's not gonna pull a Chris Watch, you guys.
Yeah.
This ain't him. He's not that." I actually think that, Kohberger low-key wants, people to know what kind of monster he is, where Chris Watts never did.
Oh, right.
Mhm.
Chris was ashamed of what he did, and he didn't want a court, like a trial where you could hear every detail.
Yeah, see, yeah, I don't know if he was I don't know if ashamed is the
Like,
right word. The reason why I have mixed emotions about OC Dubs is because if he were truly ashamed for what he did and repentant for what he did, he would be honest about what he did. Not to me, not to the public, but to his parents.
that's who
Be
I think ashamed in front of, or embarrassed or whatever, them mainly.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the thing is I think this is just my opinion. He is, um, prolonging their agony because they feel like because he won't just sit down and be straightforward about the situation and what he did versus what he didn't do, um, they're in they think that there's a chance that he didn't do something, or you know what I'm saying? And they're constantly living in a state of denial. All right, hold on a second. What is this October? Oh, the trial is going to be October 2nd, you guys.
What?
Mhm.
Wait, so he didn't waive his right?
Nope.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm looking on Twitter.
I'm waiting for the feed to come through, you guys, and if it, we'll just be right here, but I can see the comments
Listen
from
to this.
WFLA. Hit it, sis. Tell me.
Okay, I'm on Twitter. Bryan Enton is in the courtroom. He said Kohberger's attorney is asking the judge to set the trial for October. She says it will take at least 4 to 6 weeks. Kohberger is standing silent, so the judge is entering not guilty pleas. Kohberger says yes, he understands charges and penalties. They have 60 days to decide if they're going for the death penalty. Dude, I cannot believe he did. I knew it. We talked about him waiving his
Mhm.
speedy trial, and
I told you guys. I told you.
oh my God Almighty! I don't see any of Bryan Kohberger's family here, but there's also an overflow room. Oh, Olivia had her baby, and the baby's in there, and it says all you hear is the
Oh.
baby making soft cooing noises.
Oh.
Oh,
This is a strategic move. Okay. So, this is a complex case. This case it relies heavily on witnesses, expert testimony, expert testing, a lot of, uh, as we say in the business, forensicing. Just kidding. That's not even a real word, but you know what I mean. A lot of forensics, and the burden of proof is on the state. And so this is strategic. They're gonna rush, push them to go to trial quickly, and we'll see what's what. Yikes on bikes, y'all. October. Okay. What do we got going on between now and October? Boone. Who else? Oh, I know what I was going to tell you guys. Um, hold on. I need to have a cig. So hang on a minute. Um, hold on. We're going to move this whole operation outside, y'all. So, what was I going to say? Oh, so when I was going to look over the court filings and stuff in Kohberger's case, Idaho has decided that there's, cases that are that Kohberger's case and Vallow and Daybell's cases are importante. So they've moved them to they have their own special section. And which I thought was interesting. Oh crap. Hold on a minute. I got to get a lighter. Anyway, which I thought was interesting. Oh, thank you, Mel, whatever. Oh, for my future forensicking fund. Woohoo! Thank you, babe. I appreciate that. Okay, so I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah. So anyways, I was looking at the dockets. Okay, and I was looking at Chad Daybell's docket. Y'all, Chad requested that the trial be streamed, essentially. And the judge said, oh shoot. The judge said, nope, won't do it. He denied the order. Now, let me just say this. Although, given Boyce's history with this trial, I don't know that he would be apt to reconsider. However, there isn't. I was trying to find maybe a potential court date or trial date, and I couldn't find one. But that doesn't mean there isn't one. It just means I wasn't looking forever and ever. So there could still be one. But anyway, I don't know that Boyce is going to change his mind. However, it might be that the request was a little bit too broad, and they were concerned about any new, if there's some pretrial hearings coming. And so he was like, no, we'll just wait until we actually have a trial date, and maybe he will change his mind, although I kind of suspect he won't. Now, I don't understand what the deal is with that. I get not wanting to ruin the jury, taint the jury pool. I get it. But I don't understand why he won't allow cameras in the courtroom. That I don't get, and I don't appreciate it, and I object. What you got to say, Allie?
Okay, so I agree. I am annoyed as hell that with even the defense asking for cameras, they're still denying it. That is so wrong to me. I don't like it at all. Also, I'm over here mind blown that we're going to have a trial by October, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be busy bees.
We are going to be busy bees.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. It's going to be a big deal. And also, I also dread it a little bit because we're going to learn some pretty gruesome stuff. It's going to be hard.
We are. We're going to learn the nitty gritty. I mean, look, I'm just going to say it like this because I don't know another way to say it. But this is what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted to know, right? What happened? Well, we're about to find out. So brace yourselves. Because they're not going to be censoring themselves in the courtroom. They're not going to use terms like unalived. We're not going to see the graphic images because they never do that. And that's a good thing. We don't need to see them, but we are going to hear a graphic testimony, and that's just facts. So whatever you guys do to protect your, mental health, me too, me included, I have to do stuff too. We should all be practicing those techniques between now and October for reals. All right, let me see real quick. Oh, this is what I'm kind of upset because what had happened was last month when there were the nasty storms were everywhere. We got them too, and there was a super blustery day, and it broke my umbrella. So now I don't have any shade when I sit outside. I'm getting quite brown. I'm not going to lie. I have a great tan. Unfortunately, despite my best efforts, I also have a flip-flop tan. So I'm going to have to fix that before. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'll figure out a way.
Hey, I love that. It's time for tans and stuff. Jen, I think I'm going to join you in the chat because I just picked Bentley up and I don't want But I love you so much. I'm gonna set
Love
the
you too, babe.
3 or 4, and I'll be in the chat for sure. I am
Okie dokie.
forward to seeing this. I cannot wait. Even though we're just gonna hear him say yes, it is interesting. Oh, one question though before I go.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
do they ask in every hearing that do you want to waive your right to a speedy trial, or would that be something if they did want to waive it that their attorney would bring up?
No, I think they ask it.
Okay.
I think they go over, once they go over the indictment, they ask about, do you understand the charges against you? Do you understand the penalties for the charges should you be found guilty against you? And then I think they talk about, then they move forward into the scheduling phase. And I think it's at that point that they ask about, because all of the scheduling is going to hinge on whether or not he waives his right to a speedy trial. So, all right,
Okay.
let me get over here to see.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll be in the chat. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, babe. We still don't have the feed, you guys. I'm just waiting for a feed. As soon as we get that feed, I'll pull it up for you guys, but I'm waiting. Wow. October 2nd, 8:30 a.m. So it's going to be back to no naps for Jen Lou. Thanks, Idaho. I need to probably start practicing no naps now. Like I'm going to have to go back to my no nap policy so I can be like, it won't be so hard on me. I do love my naps. Wow. So, wow. And I think for me, what I'm going to be doing is keeping an eye now that we know when this trial is set for. I am going to keep my eye on the docket because there's going to be probably quite a few filings in between now and then. And I'm sure they'll be interesting to note. And I see people in the WFLA stream asking why October 2nd, why speed it up? What's the defense's angle? Well, I explained it already. June something cement shoes for Boone. I think that I told you guys, this is a strategy. This is the same reason that Valo did it. Although I think her strategy was a little bit different. But when you have a case that is full of the forensics, which this one is, and when we've got, oh, sweet dreams, Mel Mel, I adore you. I think that this is just, this case has got a lot of forensics. It's got, the forensics with the electronics. It has actual forensics, DNA, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think that, they're pushing for a, quick trial so that they can catch the state with their pants down, for lack of a better word. I don't know another way to put it. But yeah. And hey, you guys, if you get a chance, when you get a chance, make yourself have a chance and an opportunity to go over to Mel whatever's channel. She is the type of comedy and just the type of creator that we need more of on YouTube. She doesn't take herself or the YouTubes too seriously, and I just love her for it. She's so freaking funny. I'm a huge fan of motherfucking Lindley. Huge fan. And just a huge fan of Mel, whatever, just generally speaking. And you guys should all go over there and check her channel out. Faux show. Well, things do get pushed back, but when he is not waiving his right to a speedy trial, they pretty much have to get it done on time. You're right, and in time. The thing of it the thing about that is, okay, so, I have to check into how Idaho specifically does it, but most states have a crime lab, right? Or, you know, so they have a crime lab, right? But that's for the whole area. Do you know what I'm saying? So as they're, doing the testing for the Kohberger case, right? They're also doing testing on all the other cases that they have. So that's, they're going to have to, it's going to be, that's what the rush is for, frankly, because the defense knows this. Okay. So I think we're about to get this, oh shit, stream. Oh, wonderful. Here, this is from Crime Curious, headed to Walmart, and you are the voice in my head. Should be interesting. Well, may the odds ever be in your favor, ma'am, especially if I'm the voice in anybody's head, no matter where they're going. All right, hold on. Let me get over here to share screen. All right. Let me make this big. All right.
And we're waiting for, again, the pool camera team. They are alerting all stations.
Oh boy. Now, Nadie, target behavior is very different from
We
all
also have
my
a backup
behavior.
feed in the event that this one goes out. But again, this is the indictment for those of you just joining us. The indictment of Bryan Kohberger, the suspect, the lone suspect in the murders of 4 University of Idaho students in November of last year. He is facing 4 first-degree murder charges as well as a charge of burglary as well.
The silence we're experiencing now as we wait for the video.
There it is.
There
Let's
you go.
listen in.
Okay.
All rise. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Good morning, everybody.
I expected his hair to be a little bit longer, but it's not that long. He must be getting haircuts.
We have some people on Zoom here too, so we'll be hiding. Okay, let's get on the record, please. Thank you. Okay, we are now on the record in State of Idaho versus Bryan C. Kohberger, CR 29222803. Mr. Kohberger is in the courtroom along with his attorney, Ms. Taylor. I believe also part of the team is Jay Logston and Elisa Massa, who is participating by Zoom, I believe. The state is represented by Mr. Thompson, Lake County Prosecutor's Office, or Prosecuting Attorney. Ms. Jennings is of that office too, Lake County Prosecutor's Office. Also, part of that team is Ingrid Beatty and Jeff Nye, both from the Idaho Attorney General's Office. I'm John Judge. If you don't know me, I'm the Lake County District Judge, and I'll be presiding over this case. So, Mr. Kohberger, you've already heard a lot of what I'm going to tell you at your initial appearance, but I'll repeat it to you because it's important, and I want to remind you of these issues. So I'll briefly cover your rights, the charges against you, and the maximum penalties if you're found guilty or if you plead guilty. So I'm going to start with the rights. You have a constitutional right to have an attorney represent you throughout these proceedings. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, then one is appointed at public expense. Ms. Taylor and her team have already been appointed, so that's taken care of. You have a right to a speedy and public jury trial where the state would be required to prove every element of each charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. At that trial, you would have the right to cross-examine the witnesses called against you. That means to see, hear, and question them, to call witnesses to testify for you, and if you choose to testify in your own defense. But you're not required to testify because you also have a right of silence. That right is protected under the Idaho and federal constitutions, so you can remain silent throughout these court proceedings, and that can't be held against you in any way. What you do need to remember, though, is that anything you do say, other than to lawyers, could be used against you in a later court proceeding. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. You also have a right to appeal any final decision of the court. In order to exercise that right, you need to file a notice of appeal within 42 days of that final decision, or that right is waived. Also, if you are not a United States citizen, any finding of guilt in this state could have adverse consequences to your legal status. Do you understand these rights?
Yes.
Any questions about the rights?
No.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kohberger. So let's go to the indictment. You have a copy of the indictment in front of you?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And you see in the heading your name there. Is that your correctly spelled complete name?
Yes, it is.
Is that the correct birth date underneath your name?
Yes.
Are those the correct last four digits of your social security number?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to read you the charges.
He looks exactly
on
the same to me, Melissa.
Starting with count 1, burglary. That is a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-1401 and 1403. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did unlawfully enter a residence located at 1122 King Road, Moscow, with the intent to commit the felony crime of murder. Count 2, murder in the first degree. That is a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Madison Mogan, a human being, by stabbing Madison Mogan, from which she died.
I think he's just wearing less clothes, you
3.
guys, because it was wintertime
Murder
the
in the
last time
first
we
degree.
saw him, and he's wearing a vest.
Section 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Kayla Gonzalez, a human being, by stabbing Kayla Gonzalez, from which she died.
You're right, Kim. Absolutely.
Count 4, murder in the first
Until
degree.
proven
Under
guilty.
Idaho Code Section 18-4001, 4002,
He has the presumption of innocence, and it's all on the state to prove it.
alleging
he's
that
guilty.
you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Lake County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Zaina Kernodle, excuse me.
I don't think he can have honey buns,
I'm sorry.
Pointer Lover, because I don't
Zaina-
think those are vegan.
Zaina Kernodle, a human being, by stabbing Zaina Kernodle, from which she died. Count 5, murder in the first degree. This is a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Lake County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Ethan Chapin, a human being, by stabbing Ethan Chapin, from which he died. This was signed on May 16, 2023, by the presiding grand juror. So now I'm going to go to the maximum penalties of each charge, starting with count 1, burglary, minimum 1 year, in up to 10 years in imprisonment, fine of up to $50,000, or both fine and imprisonment, restitution for the victim's economic losses resulting from the crime. For counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, murder in the first degree, maximum penalties, life in prison, or the death penalty. Fine of up to $50,000, or both fine and life in prison or the death penalty. Restitution for the victim's economic losses resulting from the crime. Also, additional fine of up to $5,000 to be paid directly to the victim's families. If you are found guilty or plead guilty on each charge, and the maximum sentences are imposed consecutively, that means one right after the other, you could be facing 10 years in prison, followed by 4 consecutive life sentences or death penalties, fines of up to $200,000 and $20,000 to be paid directly to the families, with any restitution resulting.
Oh, thank you, Kim. Of course. He is presumed innocent. He is. And we have to protect the due process. I'm a big one for court proceedings. I'd be loving a trial.
Do you understand the charge in count 1?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 2, murder in the first degree?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 3, murder in the first degree?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 4, murder in the first degree?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 5, murder in the
Yes.
first degree? Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Taylor, is Mr. Kohberger prepared to plead to these charges?
Your Honor, we will be standing silent.
Okay, because Mr. Kohberger is standing silent, I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on each charge.
I need to look
One,
into this
two,
standing
three, four,
silent, what that
5.
means and why
Now, at
people
this
would do that.
juncture, the state has 60 days to give notice of intention to seek the death penalty. And Mr. Kohberger has a constitutional and statutory right to a speedy trial. So let's start with you, Ms. Taylor, and then Mr. Thompson to discuss some scheduling.
Your Honor, we'd ask the court to set this trial at the very outside of the speedy trial, right? We're not prepared to do anything but ask the court to do that today.
Okay. Have you counted out when that will be? November?
I have not counted it out, Your Honor, but I believe that would be about November 22nd is when the speedy will run. Maybe November 20th, somewhere in there. So I'd ask the court to set it for an October trial date.
How long do you think it'll take to try the case?
My best guess is it would take at least 4 weeks, maybe 6.
So you'd like me to set this for a 6-week trial?
At this point, I would, Your Honor.
Well,
Well, yeah, but I'm curious, Melissa, like, why do that rather than actually plead? That's all. I just want to know what it's about.
some of the other 3 trials I have, but this is more critical and more important. So, Mr. Thompson, what's your?
Those trial dates are workable for the state judge.
Thank you.
No insanity plea in Idaho, cement shoes. Otherwise, you know, Lori Vallow would have pled that in all caps.
About October 2nd, starting.
Yes, sir.
Okay, for 6 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? we need
Oh,
to
okay,
address?
Melissa, I'm going to look that up. You know, I believe
That was
you,
the
but
rest of the trial.
I got, you know me, I got to verify.
No.
Thank you. Mr. Thompson?
Nothing to say at this time now.
All right. So with that, by the way, I do want to let everybody know, if they don't already know this,
Whoopsie.
that once the grand jury issued the indictment, preliminary hearing scheduled to start on June 26th was no longer needed and was vacated. So some people are confused about that. So I thank counsel and the media and the public for your attention and respect. So we are adjourned. Thank you.
Bryan Kohberger electing to stand silent, and the judge entering a plea of not guilty on the 5 charges, 4 for first-degree murder, an additional charge for burglary
All right.
as well. JB Buno, WFLA senior investigator Walt Buteau here with you live in the
Thanks,
WFLA Now
JB.
Stream Center. We're really
Okay. So there you go, you guys. He did not, Allie. What he elected to do is to stand silent. Now, Melissa has said that there is some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Incentive. No, that's not the right word. There's a reason to do that that is beneficial to the defense. I guess it allows for a pretrial conference. However, I shall be verifying that, and I'm curious about it. And the only way for me to understand it is for me to look it up myself, see what it means, and then also see if there are like case laws that are cited and see what that means. And also, um, I like to listen to attorneys talk about it, and so that way I can sort of understand. And Wolfie is in support of my verification. And also, Melissa is also in all caps, verify me, Bindi. So, I'm going to verify it all. And we'll talk about what's to come tonight. Now, I know that he said this matter is adjourned, right? So that doesn't mean they're not taking up the gag order, non-dissemination order is what it's actually called. What it means is that specific matter, that's a separate matter, and that specific matter is adjourned. And then they will resume, and I will be keeping my eyes out for if anything is decided, and that audio or that video will likely be streamed after the fact as well. So we'll be able to catch up on all of that. We're going to talk about that tonight regardless. It just depends on how in depth we go. So if they make if a decision, or excuse me, a judgment and order is reached by the judge, then we will just discuss that and only that tonight. If it is not, and it's set, out, and there's going to be more evidence and whatnot, or arguments presented, we'll just cover that real briefly at the start of the show. And then the rest of it will be about Melanie BP. We're going to take a look at the various interviews that she has given over the years. Unfortunately, we don't have her court testimony because she decided to violate court orders and listen to Brandon Boudreaux's testimony after being specifically ordered not to do such. I frankly think she should be at least facing contempt of court for that, but they don't ask me. So that's that. But yeah, we're going to go over this more in depth. So you guys have a fantastic Monday afternoon. Allie is going to go live. I think she said around 3 or 4. Hopefully 4, because I got some stuff I got to do between now and then. And then we will be live tonight at 9 Eastern, and we're going to talk about Melanie BP. I thought that okay, so ATS, the way I'll go back and double check. As far as Melanie goes, I believe that she did listen to Brandon Boudreaux's testimony. As far as Ian goes, he listened to like about 10 minutes, I think, of testimony and read some headlines. So yeah. Here comes Allie. See you at 3. I said, oh wait, that says 9. Never mind. Oh no, that does say 3. Oh yeah, see you at 3, even though I was like, can we make it 4? But I'll be there. I'll be there. He did. I remember that ATS, but I could have sworn that she listened to more of the testimony from Brandon. But you might, I mean, you're always on this stuff, so I believe you. I'm going to listen to it just one more time to make good and sure. But anyway, thank you guys all for being here, and we're going to discuss all the things tonight and also at 3:00. All right, you guys. All right, I'll see you all later. Don't forget to give your girl a thumbs up on the stream. I'd appreciate it. Y'all have a great rest of your Monday afternoon, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.